Pokémon Pokopia is already shaping up to be one of the year's most interesting games. Its persistent, Minecraft-style servers, a cosy ecosystem simulator, and also its core multiplayer features, they've got people really curious. But now, there's even more reason to pay attention. Some of the main creators behind Dragon Quest Builders 2 have joined the project after seeing Game Freak's early prototype. This definitely points to something bigger the Builders team are known for, blending crafting, simulation, open-ended play better than most Japanese game developers. Combined with Pokemon's creature design, this partnership could be absolutely huge. So today I'm going to look at Pokémon Pokopia's 20-year-old concept, its persistent servers, and why teaming up with the Dragon Quest Builders creators might be its real secret weapon. Well, first of all, today we've got a 20-year idea that finally became reality. Well, Pokémon Pokopia's story doesn't start in 2026, it goes back more than 20 years. While working on Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire, Shigeru and Mori became very interested in environmental design, especially how grass and plants were placed in the game world. This focus on ecological detail led him to think about something bigger. Rather than making paths for players, he started imagining a world that felt alive for Pokémon 2. That idea developed over the years, and the goal wasn't to catch Pokémon or to battle against them, but to create a habitat for Pokémon, a world shaped by players that encourages creativity instead of competition. Now, it took more than 20 years for this idea to come together, and Omori eventually made a prototype and a promotional video. It captured his vision, and that led to Game Freak to turn it into a full-scale project. Well, next up we got Minecraft-style persistent servers. So director Takuto Edagawa confirmed that Pokopia is going to use persistent cloud servers inspired by Minecraft. Shared worlds are going to stay active even when the host logs off, so your base, your shared ranch, and the ecosystem is all going to keep going. In the past, multiplayer was just an add-on to a single-player game. Trading or battling or raiding dens, there were short connections, but with persistent servers, multiplayer is now at the heart of this game. When the world keeps going without you, your actions have lasting impact. If you build a habitat, it's going to stay. If your friends expand the settlement, you can come back to something different. This setup encourages teamwork, responsibility, and creativity in ways that the traditional co-op games don't. It also adds more social depth. Friends can take on different roles like balancing the ecosystem or building or searching for rare Pokémon. This kind of teamwork works best when the world is always active. Well, next up, enter the Dragon Quest Builders 2 team. So, according to Famitsu, producer Kanako Murata said a Megaforce, a Koei Tecmo studio, joined after a key Dragon Quest Builders 2 creator saw Omori's prototype, and they were impressed by this vision and wanted to contribute to the game. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is seen as one of the best crafting and life sim games. It balances setting goals with open building and making farming feel important, and has NPCs that respond to what you build. Town layouts change how characters behave, and the game's systems work together in meaningful ways. That kind of experience is exactly what Pokémon needs to bring Pokopia's vision to life. In a sandbox game, it's not just about placing blocks. Every system should feel natural and also rewarding too. Even better, the team spent 3 to 4 months working together to solve problems before full development began. This shows real teamwork from the start. Rather than bringing in outside help at the last minute, Game Freak and Omegaforce shaped the game's identity together from the beginning. Having a strong foundation like this often separates ambitious projects that succeed from the ones that fall apart. Next up, a new identity for Pokémon. So Pokémon has always been about connection, but it's usually through competition or trading. You traded to complete your Pokédex and battle to prove your strength. Even in open world games, the experience, it was still mostly personal. Well, Pokémon Pokopia is going to change that focus. The persistent worlds and players shaping habitats together, the emphasis moves from solo progress to community progress. The world itself becomes the main story, and it is always evolving. This is going to lead to lasting engagement. It's quite rare in older Pokemon games. Imagine friends building special areas for certain Pokemon, content creators leading their own communities, and friendly rivalries between groups. This isn't the usual linear Pokemon adventure, it's Pokemon as a living and shared world. So if this game is well supported with stable servers and good moderation tools and easy to use systems, it's really exciting. It could change how Pokemon approaches multiplayer in the future mainline games. Well, if you're just catching up, Pokemon Pokopia is not a traditional mainline Pokemon game. It's a creative sim set in the Pokemon universe. Instead of aiming to become a champion, you're building a habitat, shaping environments and creating spaces where Pokemon can thrive and live. The main focus moves away from battling to nurturing your Pokemon. This makes Pokopia one of the most unique Pokemon releases in years. Yes, it is a side project, it is not a full Pokemon adventure, but there's a lot of buzz around this one, and I think it is really exciting and something you should be paying attention to. It focuses on creativity, collaboration, long-term world building instead of gym progression or competitive play. Pokemon has tried open worlds and multiplayer before, but Pokemon Pokopia is doing things a little bit differently. Persistent servers means your world isn't going to reset, crafting systems are going to add real depth, and shaping ecosystems for your Pokemon instead of just collecting them is something that fans have wanted to do for years. Timing is also playing a role here. After decades of mostly battle-focused games, many players have been looking for a calmer, more creative Pokemon experience. Something like a life sim, something cozy and social. Pokemon Pokopia seems to be answering that demand. Pokemon Pokopia comes out on the 5th of March for the Nintendo Switch 2, and that date is now feeling quite important for the calendar compared to a few weeks ago. We've got the persistent online worlds, cross-player collaboration, and experienced crafting developers on board. Those expectations are rising really fast. Okay, so do you think this is Pokemon's future? Let me know in the comments what you think, but Pokopia stands out because of the way the gameplay is crafted. The decades-old idea is finally being brought to life with outside experts inspired by this vision. Persistent servers are designed for long-term play, and also design challenges were tackled early on with the two teams collaborating together. If Pokemon Pokopia launches successfully on the 5th of March, it could be a turning point for the Pokemon franchise. Future Pokemon games might focus on persistent worlds, with multiplayer and creative systems at their core, and not just a side gimmick. If these changes stick, Pokemon Pokopia could be remembered as more than just a spin-off. It might be the moment Pokemon moved beyond that classic adventure and started building entire worlds. Well, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you excited for Pokemon Pokopia? Have you pre-ordered it? And let me know if and when you are jumping in. I'm certainly excited and I cannot wait to get started. But that is it for this video today, and thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for even more Nintendo content here on Power Up Direct. Thanks again, and I shall see you real soon.